Beautiful figure here. And I'm going to just read something from Moinudin. Just allow the image to be there, because soul work really gets us in touch with that imaginal world, the world of creative imagination, active imagination. So just allow the image there. And this is from Moinudin Jablonski. Soul work is a marriage of psychology and spirituality that opens the pathways to the integration of being. It brings together the three primary levels of consciousness: divine, that transpersonal supraconsciousness; human, that we talked about as conscious self, this unique focalized field of awareness that each of us are; and instinctive. So we're bringing together divine, human, and instinctive into a cooperative and mutually supportive process whereby our inner life may be realized, manifested, and shared. And this process of soul work, of working with our inner lives, has ancient and modern roots, and we'll talk about those in other classes over time, but was brought into this current incarnation in this school in the 1980s by Moinudin Jablonski, who, for those of you who don't know, was a wonderful human being and head of one of the universal Sufi orders. And then, as long as humanity has existed, there have been going into the imaginal realm, going in, whether it's shamanic journeying or what the medieval mystics would call vera imaginalis, the true imagination, the alchemist. A lot of that was really inner work with images and symbols and touching those places deep inside. And then a lot was also through entheogens, and we're having the resurgence of that help us contact the inner life. This is actually an ayahuasca vision image. And then I think most of us, Carl Jung, his whole analytic psychology developed out of his soul work, his inner imaginative experience that he documents in the Red Book. For those of you who haven't seen it, it's really worth going to the bookstore and just opening it up and seeing the beautiful images that he created out of that. He was an amazing artist in addition to being an incredible psychiatrist and psychologist. And the ancient Sufis called this creative imagination. And Henry Corbin, one of the scholars of that, has said one of the tragedies of our age, we're no longer a symbolic world. We're no longer a symbolic culture. And when we look at our world, what gets cut first is the arts, the music, the drawing, the painting, where we could nurture some of those qualities that make us more complete human beings. And then I'm just going to talk this, the words of this are on our website on the Soul Work page. So there's a description of sort of soul work the way we're holding it right now. And so we want to just talk about and reference it back to the beautiful dance we did and to the sun and the moon, these two qualities of our being. The first part when we do a soul work is we have an intention. Now, if we are working with an individual, which it really developed as individual soul work sessions. The group is sort of a more recent, I think, manifestation. But you would meet with that individual, you'd find out what's happening in their life, what's important, and you create an intention of what you really wanted to focus on or explore. And then in a group, when we're leading a group session, we always have an intention of focus, an overall focus. And ours today is really on the sun and the moon, that quality of expression and forming the container. Anything else you want to talk? Because you really held that in your soul work, the intention for today came. Do you want to say anything about that?
No, that's good.
Yeah. So the first is we get our intention, and Yaya and I are holding that for all of us, but our intention is to explore this quality of the sun and the moon, this quality of high self, guiding self, spirit of guidance, diamond guidance, the angel of your being, whatever words we use to describe that contact point between us and the cosmos, between that universal field of love and awareness. So this is that sun. We're receiving that blessing. And one of the things after we set the intention in soul work is we really do a lot of breath. And in this breath, it's not this refined sort of breath that we're doing in many meditations. It's a rich, full inhalation because we're bringing oxygen, prana, life energy to charge all the collapsed, all the places in it that are overwhelmed and have given up and are just collapsed. And then that's the inhalation. And we do a body scan to bring that aliveness and really charge. And at the same time, each exhalation is a letting go, inviting us to let go of stress, tension, any burdens, any old impressions that are ready to be surrendered. And hopefully at the end of that induction phase, the nervous system is in that balance between the the sympathetic and the parasympathetic branches, which creates this wonderful balanced state that we won't talk about a lot today, but in polyvagal theory is the ventrovagal state. And that balanced nervous system can then really do the inner work. So it's important to have that balance first. So we have our intention, then we have our induction, and then we really set the alchemical vessel. And this is what that dance was holding in there, the cup, I am the cup. And so many of the metaphors that we've used are the garden of the heart is one that I use a lot. And Sadi would often use Hukma's table of holy wisdom, a sort of a round table where all the different aspects of ourselves would meet. And that idea of that gathering inside has been, again, around since the dawn of humanity. I think that's our inner alchemical vessel, our inner temple, our inner mosque, our inner church, our inner sacred holy space. So, and that's the cup.
That's the cup.